You're watching Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods.
This game is over.
Let's go. It's not about what you've done, it's about what you do.
For the first time, they're headed to the dance.
Welcome to the MAAC Championship. Manhattan versus Iona, arch rivals, as part of Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. We are at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. It's the number 4-seeded Iona Gales against the 6th-seeded Manhattan Jaspers for a spot in the NCAA tournament. And moments ago, we went into each locker room and heard each coach get his team ready.
Refuse to lose? Refuse to I want to hear it loud, not loud enough. Refuse to lose! What? Refuse to lose! Do that! Go! That's 20 minutes of Iona basketball. Hold on. Thank God, watch over. Keep us healthy.
You just ran a 25-mile marathon. Finish the marathon. Let's go. As always, family on three. Nothing changes with us. 1, 2, 3. Family!
And there is the emotion of Championship Week. Welcome, everybody, inside the Mass Mutual Center, along with former Boston College Eagle Malcolm Huckabee. I'm Doug Sherman. And this championship game between two arch rivals is fairly easy to break down. You've got the number 1 offensive team in the league in Iona against the number 1 defensive team in Manhattan.
Classic offense versus defense. The last time these two teams met, February 15th, double overtime thriller. Manhattan came up with the victory, but Doug, it's March right now. Throw everything out the window. It's simple. If you win, you get in. Both teams looking to punch that ticket into March Madness.
Okay, let's take a look at our one-on-one. A terrific offensive player for Iona against a top defensive player for Manhattan.
Ramel Brown, the MAAC Defensive Player of the Year this season, averaging 18 points per game, 13 rebounds, and 7 blocks per game. And that was the stat line in their last meeting. And then Lamont Jones, the MAAC Player of the Year. He's not only the best player in the MAAC conference, but one of the best guards in the country, second in the nation in scoring at over 23 points per game. He is a fun one to watch.
Here's the starting lineup, starting with the Jaspers with a losing record of 14-17, but they have been playing their best basketball lately, having won 8 of their last 10, led by Michael Alvarado at the point. And the backcourt for Iona is what you want to keep your eye on. Lamont Momo Jones, the Arizona transfer and Conference Player of the Year, is number 2 in the country in scoring at over 23 per game. His running mate Sean Armand averages nearly 17 points per game. And as they go, so go the Gales. Mike Kitts, Brian Kersey, Brian Dorsey, 40 minutes away from a MAAC champion, 40 minutes away from a berth in the NCAA tournament. Iona is the number 4 seed in the white uniforms, and Manhattan is the number 6 seed in the green.
Well, we're going to be looking for the defense. Manhattan, can they slow down this potent offense of Iona that averages over 80 points per game?
This is Michael Alvarado, the junior co-captain from the Bronx in this Battle of New York. These two teams have never met in the MAAC championship game, even though they are both charter members of this conference. Mohamed Koita misfires and Taj Ridley with a rebound for Iona. Momo Jones kicks to Armand, and he misfires from the corner.
That's another area we're going to be watching. Transition defense by Manhattan. When you average 80 points per game as Iona does, you better have a good defensive balance to slow down the fast break of Iona.
Alberto Collinet misses. Shot clock continues to wind down because he missed the rim altogether.
And I like what Iona's doing. They came out in the zone. Manhattan struggles to shoot the ball from the perimeter.
Here's Momo Jones, splits the defense, draws the foul, but no basket. The foul came before the shot.
Well, he is so tough to guard in the open court. In particular, make or miss. He is a jet up the court. And you're going to see right here, he's got good body control. Transition defense is going to be key. Make or miss, Iona is going to get the ball up and down the court tonight.
Koida steps in for the steal. This is Donovan Cates.
Doug, right now, they're just playing off Cates. They're daring him to shoot the ball, and that's what Manhattan's going to have to do. Break down that zone with penetration like that. Just need to finish.
Here come the Gales again. Tough bounce pass to handle for Jones. And it's Jasper's basketball.
And that's a great job of transition D by Manhattan. Had a chance to speak with them today at shoot-around. This was an area of concern coming in. Iona, transition defense. That time they were really good.
Alvarado, Cates, and Koida around the perimeter. Brown and Collinette inside. This is Ramel Brown, the two-time reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. Nice wraparound pass. Collinette misses. Didn't catch iron either, so the shot clock at 8 as the ball goes out of bounds. Iona possession.
Well, that zone really right now is bothering Manhattan. They're just packing it in Iona, daring them to shoot the ball from the perimeter. They need to bring somebody to the high post to break that down or get rid of penetration.
David Lowry with the no-look pass to Taj Ridley. Lowry trying to clean it up, and he does.
Nice work that time on the offensive glass by Iona, and they'll do this. They'll change up their defense, go to a little three-quarter court pressure, and then drop back into that zone just to slow Manhattan down just a little bit. But they're daring them to shoot the ball from the perimeter. That's the strategy for Iona.
Koida from the corner, Lowry with the rebound. He has had back-to-back double-doubles in this tournament. Ridley from the foul line. And there's Jones with the offensive rebound. Jones in trouble on the sideline, gets it back over to Lowry. There's his patented spin move, but the best shot blocker in the league says no.
When you average 3 blocks per game, puts him in the top 10 in the nation, blocks per game, that's a valuable asset to have if you're Manhattan, and you can see the reason why they lead the MAAC in field goal defense.
Well, after Koida missed from the left corner, he's got the range from the right side. High post pass, down low to Ridley for 2.
And that's twice now. Iona's done a nice job breaking down that matchup zone, getting the ball to the high post, drawing the defender, and then they're getting wide open looks underneath the basket.
And Malcolm, with so much attention paid to Jones and Armand in the backcourt, the combination inside of Ridley and Lowry have really been able to operate effectively here at the MAAC tournament this year.
Yeah, and that's something that Jones has done a nice job of. Everybody knows he can score the ball. He's second in the nation in points per game. They want him to focus on giving it up when he's getting trapped, as he will tonight. You know Manhattan is going to try to focus on him, not allow him to go off for 30, 40 points. He's going to get the other guys involved. That time he did a nice job setting up the offense for Iona.
The conference's co-rookie of the year, Shane Richards, into the ball game for the first time, as well as Emi Andujar, number 13 in green. Jones, catch and release, a little bit strong, and we've got a foul on the rebound. We'll take a break from Springfield, Massachusetts. The MAAC championship has Iona on top by 1. Welcome back to the MAAC Championship as part of Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods here in Springfield, Massachusetts with Malcolm Huckabee. I'm Doug Sherman. And Iona has gotten both of its baskets in the paint. The guards have yet to score.
Yeah, and that's it's too early to tell, but Manhattan's doing a nice job defending the perimeter as they should against this high-scoring offense of Iona.
Andujar has it poked away by Armand, who just before the break had committed his first foul. There's the junior captain from Brooklyn, played his high school ball in Manhattan, and now plays at Iona. Rashawn Stores. And he doesn't get the roll. Kevin, thank you. 15 minutes left in the first half here in Springfield, Mass. Iona with the early 4-3 lead over arch rival Manhattan. And so far, the Gales have not gotten any points from their prolific scoring backcourt of Lamont Momo Jones and Sean Armand, but they've been working the ball inside effectively.
Yeah, and that's showing good patience by Iona. Manhattan, their game plan is not let the perimeter guys beat you. So they're doing a good job, Jones and also the other guards for Iona, working the ball down low in the post and getting some high percentage shots early on.
Mohamed Koita called for his second foul. So he's out of the game. C.J. Jones is checked in for the first time. He's defending Ridley, who slips, and Jones is the one who comes up with it.
There's that defense of Manhattan showing out. They're one of the few teams that's been able to slow Iona down, and also Lamont Jones, and that's going to be key tonight. Pick and roll defense, slowing down this high-scoring offense of Iona.
Stores left alone from the head of the key, and he drains it. Jasper's on top 6-4.
That's a great sign for Manhattan. Iona sitting back in that zone, daring Stores and the rest of the Manhattan guards to shoot from the perimeter. They finally got one to go down.
Here goes Momo Jones, high off the window for two.
His game is just so unstoppable. When he's making shots like that, he can get into the lane. Mid-range game is lethal. That time he got that one high up over the long stretch arms of Manhattan.
Andujar called for steps. The young man who's twice beaten Iona this year on late shots turns it back over to the Gales.
Well, we joked with him about it and shoot around today, and he was recruited by Iona, and I asked you, did you give a little extra because you didn't go there? He said, no, I'm not going to give any bullet board material.
Well, he also was offered by Creighton and other schools, but wanted to stay close to home. You see the last meeting at Manhattan. These two arch rivals who are both charter members of the conference. Iona has won the MAAC tournament title 7 times over the years. Manhattan has won 3 times, but amazingly, in over 3 decades of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, these two rivals have never met in this title game.
Well, that's amazing, and if it's anything like the last time these two teams met on February 15th, as we talked about in the Open, that double overtime thriller, we're in store for another good one.
No look pass to Andujar in the high post. Back out to Stores. Trey Bowman has come into the game for Iona. This is Andujar. Strong finish. He's had a big MAAC tournament so far.
Playing some really good ball in this tournament, and that's just a beautiful individual move. Had a smaller defender on him, used his body, finished.
There's Steve Masiello, second-year head coach for the Manhattan Jaspers, and he actually was an assistant coach at Manhattan College. Twice before, when they did cut down the nets, he was an assistant coach under Bobby Gonzalez, and then went to Kentucky, or rather to Louisville, where he's an assistant on Rick Pitino's staff, and the Kentucky grad is now enjoying his first chance as a head coach at Manhattan.
Yeah, and gave a lot of credit to Coach Pitino. The style that his team play, a lot of similarities. Lockdown defense, they get after you, make it really difficult for you to score.
Andujar dribbled it off a foot. Tavon Sledge back the other way. Tied at 8.
And that's where Iona is so good. When they turn you over, they fly up the court. Manhattan's got to do a better job taking care of the ball, making sure they don't give up points off of turnovers.
Here's Andujar, back out to Alvarado. Shot clock down to 2. And the Jaspers don't recognize it and turn it over. You can see the look on Momo Jones' face. He was disappointed the horn blew because they had a 2-on-none.
I mean, when you average 80 points per game, you're always looking to get out in transition and get some easy, quick buckets. But another good job by Iona on the defensive end. Obviously, coming into this game, we talked about their offense averaging over 80 points per game. Early on, it's been their defense that's been getting it done.
We should mention Tim Kluse and his staff again wearing their sweatsuits for this MAAC championship to help raise awareness for finding the cure for cystic fibrosis. And they did that in the next to last regular season game. Won that game, Malcolm, and they've won 4 in a row since, so why change? Momo Jones misses, ball loose on the floor, and it comes to Manhattan. And true to form, the Jaspers happy to walk it up.
And they want to turn it into a possession game. You do not want to get into a racing match with Iona. They will run you out of the gym. Play good defense, slow it down, and be patient on the offensive end. That's the game plan for Manhattan.
Manhattan got to this championship by knocking off the defending tournament champs from Loyola in the quarterfinals and then beating Fairfield yesterday. They turned it over to Momo Jones, and just like that, he got it up on the rim, but not high enough. Manhattan back the other way.
And Doug, one thing we didn't talk about in these conference championships, fatigue plays a factor. These teams are playing a lot of basketball in the last 48 hours. Fatigue and legs, I think, will play an issue or be a factor at the end of this game.
Iona beat Canisius in the quarters and then Niagara as well in the semis. Offensive foul against Roberto Collinet. When we come back, championship week memories specific to the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. Ram trucks, engineered to move heaven and earth. Guts, glory, Ram. And new Kickstart by Mountain Dew. Kickstart your day.
My favorite championship week memory is 1993. We're down 10 at half. We make a furious comeback. Chris Williams is fouled. All we had to do was make one, and we go to the NCAA tournament. He missed the first. He made the second.
The NCAA has a built-in theme song now. It's called
Manhattan.
That was 20 years ago when our very own Fran Fraschilla was the head coach of the Manhattan Jaspers, and he led Manhattan to the NCAA tournament. And you want to know who that little guy is? That is James Fraschilla, who is now a sophomore on the Oklahoma Sooners.
That's unbelievable. I hope Coach Fraschilla is watching this right here, but what a ride they have. And I remember Keith Bullock played high school ball against him, had a phenomenal career here at Manhattan, had a chance to catch up with him, hadn't seen him since the old high school days back in Connecticut, and phenomenal career and even better person and family.
Well, the Manhattan Jaspers have won the MAAC postseason tournament championship 3 times. 1993 under Fran Fraschilla was the first time. And then they won back-to-back titles in 03 and 04 under Bobby Gonzalez. We should mention that Coach Fraschilla did take Manhattan to the NCAA tournament a couple of years later as an at-large. And this Iona team last year went as an at-large, but that is the exception rather than the rule for this league.
Yeah, and I really believe tonight this is a one-bid league this year, and I think the winner of this game, it's going to come down to, Doug, who executes that game plan better. It's a classic matchup of offense versus defense. Let's see who's going to win out.
Well, the pace and tempo so far certainly in the favor of the Jaspers, who allow their opponents less than 58 points per game, best in the MAAC. Iona averages over 81 points per game, best in the MAAC. And they've really not been able to get out and run, and their backcourt has combined for only 2 points. Emi Andujar, too strong off the glass. Trey Bowman, the Penn State transfer, with a strong finish.
And that's a beautiful finish that time by Bowman. Adjusted his body and was able to get to the rim and finish. And that's what he does. He's a guy, another guy on this team that when you put him in the open court, he can make plays like that.
8 of the 10 Iona points, Malcolm, have come in the paint so far here tonight.
And they're doing a good job on the defensive end with this zone. It's really confusing and giving Manhattan problems. And then they're getting out in transition and getting some easy buckets.
Andujar's pass deflected, and here come the Gales again. Momo Jones finishes this time. Timeout, Jaspers. We'll be back to Springfield in 30 seconds. The Gales lead the Jaspers by 4. Welcome back to the MAAC Championship as part of Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. With Malcolm Huckabee, I'm Doug Sherman from Springfield, Mass.
Doug, I really like what Iona and Coach Cruz is doing with their defense. They're really confusing Manhattan right now. They're going to a three-quarter court pressure, light pressure, and then they're getting back into that zone.
Andujar couldn't get the roll. That ball bounced off the left knee of Momo Jones out of bounds, and so the Jaspers will have a fresh shot clock.
And that was better that time on the offensive end by Manhattan. That was a pretty good look. He needs to finish that, but when you only shoot 33% from the three-point line, you're going to see a lot of zone.
Alvarado hits the 3.
That's a great sign if you're Manhattan. Alvarado, who's a 30% three-point shooter, knocking down a 3 versus that zone.
Sean Armand off the left rim. Sledge tried to save it but could not. Championship Week continues with Super Saturday on ESPN, which features 5 conference tournament games, including 3 championship games. Starting at 1 Eastern, our coverage of both ACC semifinals begins. At 6 Eastern, it's the Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship. At 8:30 Eastern, it's the Big East Championship. And at 11 Eastern, the Pac-12 Championship wraps up a full day. All part of Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Trey Bowman blocked the shot of Ramel Brown. Brown gets it back and then gives it to Bowman. Jones trying from the left side. And he's fouled by Andujar.
Doug, this is what Jones does. He does a great job of drawing contact and getting to the free throw line where he is lights out, close to 90% on the year. He's right around 89% from the free throw line, and that was all created by him. Off of the turnover, he flies up the court and draws a lot of contact.
He is the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Player of the Year. And one of the officials, Mike Kitts, is over checking something on the replay. But as you were talking about, Malcolm, Momo Jones gets to the free throw line as much as anybody in the country. He's already made a school record 213 free throws, and he's number 2 in the country in free throws made behind Virginia Tech's Eric Green.
I mean, those are two prolific scorers right there. Eric Green can put them up, and also Momo Jones, a phenomenal player. And we're going to take a look at it right here. Save and another turnover by Manhattan, which is enabling Iona to get out and transition, and then you're going to see Momo Jones draw the contact.
We'll step away while they get this official review figured out. Back in Springfield right after this. Kevin, thank you. Back here in Springfield, Massachusetts, while they continue to work on the clock issue. Well, we talked earlier about these two founding members of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference and how close they are. Only 9.1 miles separate the two campuses. New Rochelle, New York is just outside of the New York City limits. And Malcolm, the surprising thing to folks from around the country, Manhattan College is not actually in the borough of Manhattan. It is in the borough of the Bronx, and the address is actually Riverdale, New York.
Well, I'm confused now. That's above my pay grade. You're going to have to explain that one to me a little bit better there, Doug.
Well, that's why we have the Google map for you. And there you see New Rochelle, a suburb just to the northeast of New York City. But make no mistake, these are two New York City teams. The young man at the line is from Harlem. Both rosters have a number of New York City kids. And there's Steve Masiello, who grew up in White Plains, New York. And actually the story of how he got hooked up with Rick Pitino is amazing. As a child, he's in a parking lot, runs into Mark Jackson, then the point guard of the Knicks. They chat for a few minutes. Mark Jackson says to Steve Masiello, "Hey, kid, you want to come to practice today?" Steve Masiello goes to practice. Rick Pitino says, "Hey, kid, you want to be a ball boy?" Next thing you know, he's a ball boy at Madison Square Garden for the Knicks. The next thing you know, he plays his college basketball at Kentucky for Rick Pitino, is an assistant for Pitino repeatedly, and now here is a head coach, and he's basically a clone of Rick Pitino by his own admission.
Well, that's a movie in itself right there, but talking to him at shoot-around, he gives all the credit in the world to Coach Pitino. He says he's 99.9% should get all the credit for my coaching career and success.
Taj Ridley is called for the foul as he and Ramel Brown got tangled up under the basket. Well, we probably ought to give credit to Steve Masiello's mom, Catherine, who he calls his best friend. She rides the team bus, and she is at every single Jaspers game.
And that's just a great story. The family support and obviously a phenomenal ride that he has had. And team with a chance to punch a ticket into the NCAA tournament.
Well, in his rookie year as a head coach last season, he took the Jaspers from 6 wins to 21 wins. The follow slam by Ramel Brown.
What an amazing putback, Ramel Brown. We talked about the last time that these two teams met. His stat line, 21 points, 17 rebounds, and 7 blocks.
Iona going with a small lineup now, 4 guards on the floor with Deshaun Gomez in for the first time and Taj Ridley on the bench. Five seconds to shoot. Bowman fires it up, and that's a 2-point shot.
Bowman's a guy that's got an excellent mid-range game. That's a nice little up fake. Got into the gap and pulled up with the shot clock winding down.
Iona by 3, Manhattan with a basketball. This is Shane Richards, the co-rookie of the year in the MAAC. Alvarado left it short. Andujar got a hand on it. Here comes Momo Jones. Through the contact, no, but there's Bowman to put it back in.
Bowman's having himself an excellent first half here. That's 2 times now he's been able to get free, get a little putback. The last time he showed off the mid-range game.
The Gales like the tempo of late. But Ramel Brown just keeps doing what he does inside for the Jaspers, Malcolm.
Well, he's so impressive. He does so many things for his team, anchors their defense, and I think he's an underrated offensive player. And then this is just what Momo Jones does, gets up the court. But Iona doing a great job crashing the offensive glass.
The Jaspers down 5 with the basketball. Alvarado, tough shot. Lowry may have gotten a piece. Count the basket and 1 for Roberto Collinet.
This is just great hustle, sticking with the play by Collinet, coming up with an offensive rebound. And those are the things, Doug, at the end of the game that are going to come back and they add up. And I think they're the difference between winning and losing. Those 50-50 balls that are up in the air, hustle plays, that's a great job that time by Collinet.
Collinet grew up in Queens, but he was a Boy Scout and actually was in the Boy Scouts for 13 years to the point where he became an Eagle Scout. When he'd go to scout meetings on Friday nights, he wouldn't tell his friends where he was going. He'd say he was going to church because he didn't want them to know he was a Boy Scout. But he said that it really helped to mold and shape who he was. The trips that he took to upstate and to New Jersey to go out and sleep in the wilderness really affected a city kid.
Very impressive young man and well-spoken. Really enjoyed our time that we spent with him today at shoot-around.
And Collinet has had a very solid MAC tournament to help the Jaspers get here to the MAC championship game. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. The tempo has favored the Jaspers. And the Jaspers have a chance to take the lead. Michael Alvarado with the strong drive.
That's just a breakdown by Iona. You're going to see him open up too much Sledge, and he needs to sit on that right hand, and that's just too easy right there. And if you're going to foul him, make sure he doesn't get it up. But Manhattan's doing a good job now in the last couple offensive possessions, going to the hole and getting high percentage shots.
First foul on Tavon Sledge, the 5th against the Gales. And Alvarado puts Manhattan back on top, 19-18. Momo Jones, little teardrop, and it rattles out.
Well, that's a good look by Momo Jones. He normally puts those down. That was right at the rim. That ball was in and out.
He's as good as anybody in the country at getting into the lane and finishing. Ramel Brown spins, tries to dunk, doesn't, but he does get the layup. Timeout, Iona. We'll be back in 30 seconds. The Jaspers surge in front, leading by 3. Welcome back to the MAC Championship as part of Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Doug Sherman with Malcolm Huckabee. And those fans who've come up from the Bronx enjoying what they see lately of their Jaspers on an 8-0 run to take the lead 21-18 over their arch rivals from Iona. Momo Jones being double teamed and a blocking foul called against Stores. First personal on Stores. And that is the 7th team foul against Manhattan. Hey, that used to be the Knicks ball boy, didn't he? He's got experience. Steve Masiello cleaning up the floor. Very nice. Well, Coach Pitino, if you're watching, I'm sure you'd approve.
Well, a charismatic guy, and really enjoyed the enthusiasm and the energy that he had in his shoot-around with his players, and obviously doing a phenomenal job with this program.
Jones has his place in the lineup taken by Alvarado. And here's Momo Jones. 2 years ago, he was the point guard on that Arizona team that went all the way to the Elite 8. But after 2 terrific years out west, he wanted to move back east and was granted a hardship waiver by the NCAA. His grandmother at the time wasn't well, and he wanted to be back here in the Northeast, and so he transferred to Iona and was eligible immediately. And actually, Momo told me at shoot-around this afternoon that his mom and both of his godparents able to make the drive up from New York City for the ball game here tonight.
Well, what a joy he's been to watch for Iona and the MAC Conference. Unbelievable scorer, and I really like how he handles himself. He's just got that swagger about him where he knows that he can score on anybody in the country.
Richards for 3.
Early on, Doug, Manhattan was not able to knock down those threes. They're starting to go right now.
Tough shot by Jones, and a rebounding foul that goes against Taj Ridley, who cannot believe it. That's Ridley's 2nd personal foul. Shane Richards, the co-rookie of the year in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, makes it 24-20 Jaspers. Kevin, thank you. And here is the entire list of the tickets punched so far. And in a little over an hour, we will have at least one more punched here. This is a one-bid league this year, so the winner of this one will go to the NCAA tournament. And as the Harlem Shake goes on for the Manhattan student section, that's what's on the line here tonight, Malcolm. I mean, one of these teams will have the season come to an end most likely. Manhattan comes in with a losing record overall as a number 6 seed. And no number 6 seed in the history of this conference has won the MAAC tournament. Trying to make history here tonight.
Well, that's the fun thing about March Madness. Anything can happen.
Alvarado to Collinet. 10 to shoot. Alvarado puts it up. And Lowry with another rebound. Here's Sean Armand, who has yet to score, and he remains scoreless. Offensive foul. And personal foul number 2 on Armand.
And this is just great footwork. And we've seen a lot of this by Manhattan coming into this game. We talked about it being a classic matchup of a great offensive team versus a very good defensive team in Manhattan. And early on in this game, Manhattan has imposed their will on the defensive end.
Now the prolific scoring combination of Jones and Armand, the most prolific scoring duo in the country, has combined for a total of 5 points so far tonight. Brown, great position inside.
And Doug, I would like to see Manhattan do more of that. Go down low to Ramel Brown, getting high percentage shots. He shoots over 53% from the floor, and they need to do more of that. And this is just good offense, patience by Manhattan, not settling for contested jumpers. And Ramel Brown, when he catches it that deep in the post, he's going to finish every time. I think he's underrated as an offensive player. Everybody talks about the defense, the 3 block shots per game, but he can do some damage down low in the post.
Bowman makes the first after being fouled by Collinet. And there are the numbers put up by Brown this year in the 2 regular season games against their arch rivals from Iona. 7 block shots in each game.
Doug, I don't think I had 7 block shots in my whole career at Boston College, let alone in a game. I mean, he's got 14 in 2 games. Amazing numbers that he's put up.
So far tonight, Brown has 1 block shot, so he is 1 behind the great Lionel Simmons for 4th place on the all-time list in the MAAC.
Amazing.
Simmons played at LaSalle back in the day. Went on to a solid NBA career with the Sacramento Kings. Andujar has it knocked away by Curtis Dennis. And there you see Dengai's number will not be caught, but Ramel Brown should wind up as the number 2 all-time shot blocker in the history of this league. You see he's already passed Jason Thompson, currently of the Sacramento Kings, and then the 1990 National Player of the Year, Lionel Simmons, is next.
Well, I just laugh every time now I see that Dikembe Mutombo commercial.
It's great.
In my freshman year, it was Mutombo and Mourning playing against Georgetown, and here I am, a freshman, trying to drive the ball to the hole, and I think he punched like 3 or 4 of my shots into the stand. So this guy is the same thing, a phenomenal defender and the anchor to the Manhattan defense.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. David Lowry regathers, misses the layup. And when Brown is near you, he may not block your shot, but he's going to alter your shot.
And that's the thing about great shot blockers. Even when they don't block the shot, they alter it. They make you do things and adjust your body in midair and really impact your offense.
Bowman shoots the gap but couldn't gather it in. And now we have a stoppage in play to take a look at the clock.
And I think they're looking to see if there was a shot clock when that steal happened, whether or not they reset the shot clock. I think that's what they're reviewing right now and see whether or not they need to take off some time on the clock.
Right. Did Trey Bowman ever have possession to warrant a change of possession and reset the clock. I think he didn't, and that's probably what Brian Kersey said. And so he and Mike Kitts are over to figure out where the shot clock should be.
And this is what Manhattan needs to be really careful with. Iona wants to shoot the gaps on defense. Right now, their coach is talking to them about that. And when you're playing an aggressive team like that, ball fakes. You want to ball fake one time hard or backdoor cuts. You do not, though, want to give up uncontested layups. And early on, that's what Iona was doing. They were getting out in transition off of turnovers. Manhattan has settled down, I'd say, around the 10-minute mark, cut down on the turnovers, and that's the reason why they have the lead.
Tuesday night on ESPN, Championship Week continues with 2 more conference championship games. First at 7 Eastern, it's the Big East Women's Championship presented by American Eagle Outfitters as the winner of number 3 UConn and 22nd ranked Syracuse take on Notre Dame. Then at 9 Eastern, it's the Horizon League Championship as Wright State takes on Valparaiso. Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, Tuesday on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN.
And this is another thing that Lamont Jones does. Gets good position and defense, and he takes a lot of charges. Everybody talks about his offense, but he's also, I think, an underrated defender as well, too. He's a ball hawk.
Well, he is up to 30 charges drawn this year, most on the team, and he takes great pride in that. And he says not a lot of guys want to do it because it hurts. You should also say that Momo Jones played through a fever this weekend. He's feeling much better here tonight. He told me during shoot-around this afternoon that the fever has broken, and you can see that he feels better. And being sick didn't mean he wasn't productive. He played very well the last couple of days, but feeling better here today.
Well, I'll tell you what, for a guy that puts up the numbers that he does and that he's done in the last 2 games, man, I tell you, that's pretty impressive to play through that and still have the games that he has had. Just a testament to the type of player and the toughness that he has.
Brown misses. Here comes Trey Bowman. Shot clock is off. A lot of contact. Offensive foul. Bowman picks up the personal. And that's his second.
And we're seeing a lot of good defensive positioning. We expected this from Manhattan. They're a great defensive ball club, the top in the MAAC, and that's just good footwork that time by Storrs.
Final 20 seconds of the first half. The tempo has been dictated by Manhattan, the top defensive team in the league, against Iona, the top offensive team in the league. Storrs, the contested jump shot goes out of bounds.
Well, that's not a good decision by Storrs for a couple of reasons. It was a contested shot, but more importantly, you go too early and you're going to leave 4.9 seconds left on the clock for Iona.
Jones fires away, beats the buzzer. And he pulls a Pearl Washington running straight into the locker room with his finger raised. So a big mistake at the end of the half by the Jaspers to allow the Gales to get a little momentum and draw back within 1.
Well, it's just a breakdown, Doug, and I talked about it, leaving too much time on the clock, and that's a momentum changer for Iona. And Momo Jones, I'll tell you what, he is impressive. He can score in so many ways, and that's the last thing you want to do if you're Manhattan.
Our halftime score, 26-24 Manhattan. Now let's send you to Kevin Connors and LaFonso Ellis in the studio for the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report.
Please welcome the Manhattan College Dance Team. Fans, please bring your attention to Senate Board for a special presentation. Commissioner Rich Kinsler is joined by the Vice President of the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, Don Senecal, and the General Manager of the Constitutional Center, Matt Hollander. Together they are presenting a $25,000 contribution to the Jimmy Fund. Here to accept our Kevin James, Kitty Chisholm, and other members of the Western Massachusetts Council of the Jimmy Fund. Through a new partnership with the MAAC, a portion of the proceeds from today's ticket sales will go directly to the Jimmy Fund and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. In addition, match student athletes from all 10 member schools have participated in fundraising on campus and making cards to send to Jimmy Fund patients. Here to deliver the cards on behalf of our student athletes is Lorena Gulata, a rower from Fairfield University. Thank you, Lorena, and thank you to the Western Massachusetts Council of Jimmy Fund for being here tonight. This game is being brought to you in part by Xfinity from Comcast, a fastest internet, 3 times the HD channels, TV on your PC, and on-demand library of nearly 20,000 titles. Xfinity, only from Comcast. For more information, visit Xfinity.com. The Jimmy Fund solely supports Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, raising funds for adult and pediatric cancer care. Research to improve the chances of survival of cancer patients around the world. The MAAC recently joined forces with the Jimmy Fund, and you can help too. Students will be coming through the stands to collect any amount you are willing to give. You can also text 22122 right now to give $5 to the Jimmy Fund or toss your change into our coin drum located next to the box office. The MAAC and the Jimmy Fund, thank you for your support.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Check out MAACajesus.com for information on the MAAC Basketball Championship from March 7th to the 11th. The best restaurants, great shopping, awesome entertainment,
It's not about what you've done, it's about what you do.
The game is yours. You worked all season. You're undefeated at halftime when leading. You're undefeated. You're up 2 right now. Just play it in 4-minute segments. All the pressure is on them. The only thing you can't let happen is that their urgency with seniors, Ridley, Momo, want it more than you. It's going to come down to a loose ball. Do you dribble it or do you pick it up? It's going to come down to a weak side block out. Did I hit him or did I miss him? It's going to come down to a little play that's going to change this game. If you do it, this will go down as one of the greatest accomplishments in college basketball this year, what this team has been through. You're 20 minutes away from the ultimate goal of what we do every day.
Let's go! Give everything! Give everything!
We need the total team. We come back in this locker room in 20 minutes. We're having the Nets in our hands.
Let's go!
Yes, sir!
1, 2, 3!
Family! Get a great one.
Let's go, man!
Hey, let's go.
Welcome back to the MAAC Championship as part of Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Our score, Manhattan 26, Iona 24. Moments ago, Jaspers head coach Steve Masiello addressing his team in the locker room.
You worked all season. You're undefeated at halftime when leading. You're undefeated. You're up 2 right now. Just play it in 4-minute segments. All the pressure is on them. The only thing you can't let happen is that their urgency with seniors, Ridley, Momo, want it more than you. It's going to come down to a loose ball. Do you dribble it or do you pick it up? It's going to come down to a weak side block out. Did I hit him or did I miss him? It's going to come down to a little play that's going to change this game. If you do it, this will go down as one of the greatest accomplishments in college basketball this year. What this team has been through. You're 20 minutes away from the ultimate goal of what we do every day.
Let's go! Give everything! Give everything!
We need the total team. We come back in this locker room in 20 minutes. We're having the Nets in our hands.
Let's go!
Yes, sir!
1, 2, 3! Ready!
Terrific message inside the Manhattan locker room, along with Malcolm Huckabee. I'm Doug Sherman. What he's talking about is that George Beeman, the reigning scoring champ in the league, out for the year with injury for Manhattan. They're doing it without him, and they are trying to become the first number 6 seed ever to win this MAAC tournament.
That's the beauty of March Madness, when your team faces a speed bump in the road, as I call it, and you get through all of that and get to this point right here. Both teams, 20 minutes to go. It's all about punching that ticket. Here we go.
Beeman watches as his team tries to carry on without him. He went down just 4 games into the year, so they have had the time to adapt and adjust as the season is worn on. Sledge, Jones, Armand, Lowry, and Ridley, the starting 5 for Iona with a basketball. This is David Lowry, only 2 points in the first half, and an inauspicious beginning to the second half, as the young man who has had a double-double in both the quarterfinal and semifinal shuffled his feet. Here's our first half statistics, and so far that tempo has definitely favored the defensive-minded Jaspers.
Absolutely, and nobody would have expected Iona, the top scoring team in the MAAC and number 2 in the country, 0 3-point buckets, but right on cue they come out in the second half and they're giving up a 3. So Manhattan's doing a great job on the defensive end, slowing down this Iona team, and they're the teams that knocking down 3-point shots. They have 5 now for the game.
Meanwhile, as a team, Iona is 0 for 4 from beyond the arc, and their number 2 scorer, Sean Armand, who is 3rd in the league at nearly 17 points per game, still has 0.
And this is what Manhattan is going to do. They're going to switch up their defense. Right now they're going to a matchup zone.
Pushing foul. Donovan Cates, the guilty participant, as he pushed Lowry from behind.
Speaking with Coach Masillo today in shoot-around, he said that's what I want to do. I want to try to confuse Iona with our defenses switching up. We're going to give them some man. We're going to give them some matchup zone. We're going to give them some three-quarter court pressure. Keep them guessing, what are we going to do every time down the court? And it's working.
Second possession of the half, second Iona turnover. And to follow up on the theme that we heard from Coach Masiello in the Manhattan locker room, I asked him his greatest recollections from the back-to-back championships a decade ago here at Manhattan when he was an assistant coach. And he said the fact that their best player, Luis Flores, who went on to play in the NBA, did not make the key plays. It was role players who made the decisive plays to try and encourage this group to say, hey, it could be you.
And that's always what it comes down to, Doug. Just like that right there. Offensive rebounds, those 50-50 balls, that's exactly what he talked about coming out in the second half. Those are the things that are winning plays, and they add up at the end, and they're the difference between you cutting down the nets or going home.
Brown gives it back to Mohamed Koita. And there's Ramel Brown having his pocket picked by Trey Bowman. And he sees only green ahead of him, and so he pulls it back out. Armand from deep, and he is on the board.
Well, you know you can't keep that offense under wraps the whole game. We talked about it. Second in the nation, points per game, over 80. They can score in a hurry. Manhattan needs to be careful. You do not want this team to get hot.
Koida. A foul on the drive.
And this is just good individual offense right here. That's a contested three. You can live with that if you're Manhattan. A NBA range three contested. You're going to have to live with that sometimes playing against Iona. They have offensive guys all over the court that can score like that. You just want to make sure you're not giving them uncontested shots.
However, as you see, Sean Armand now has as many fouls as he does points. Let's take a look at Iona's winning formula, brought to you by Clearmen Scalp Therapy. And Momo Jones and Sean Armand are the highest scoring duo in the entire country. But at this point, they have only 13 points combined tonight.
Well, they certainly are impressive, and 17 minutes to go. So these guys can score in a heartbeat, but thus far in the game, that's been the storyline. Manhattan's ability to slow those two guys down.
Armand going to play on with those three fouls with a basketball, guarded by Koida. Armand has it blocked by Brown. And Ramel Brown tells me that he is a much more cerebral shot blocker now than he was a couple of years ago. And we saw that there, that he did not commit the foul with the hard-charging player coming at him.
Well, it was two things. First, I think it was a great job by the referees not to call it, because the contact was not created by him, and he did a good job holding his ground and keeping his arms up, not breaking that plane.
Taj Ridley goes flying into the Iona bench, trying for the steal. He is one of the seniors that we heard Coach Masiello refer to, along with Momo Jones, who are playing for their college careers here tonight. Will they be more desperate and more wanting than Manhattan? Donovan Cates guarded by Curtis Dennis.
And Doug, I'd like to see them get Brown a touch in the post. They've really gone away from him. Early on, he got a couple of easy deuces.
Emi Andujar off the front rim. Cates and Dennis go down hard, and the possession arrow stays down at this end.
And the reason why I like them getting Brown touches down in the post, he shoots 55% from the floor, and he's skilled. He's underrated as an offensive player, and I think he has a size advantage down there. Make it easy for yourself if you're Manhattan.
The lob to Brown, a little too far, and here come the Gales. 2-on-1, Momo Jones to Trey Bowman.
And that's just an unselfish play that time by Momo Jones. Saw he had a guy wide open, and his willingness to pass, that's what's impressive as well.
The lead is down to 1. Alvarado fouled by Ridley. And that is his third.
And right here, off of a turnover, Iona, and I think this is another part of Jones's games that is underrated, his ability to pass the ball. Yes, he can score, second in the nation in scoring, 23 points per game, but that time unselfish with the ball, which led to an easy, uncontested layup for his teammate.
But it continues to be a struggle for Ridley. And he's played well in the quarters and the semis here this weekend. Same with David Lowry, his fellow forward. And now Lowry will replace Ridley with those 3 fouls.
If you're Iona, Alvarado is the guy you do not want to put on the free throw line. A very good free throw shooter at 80% on the year. And I thought that was going to be a case of me jinxing him. Every time you say that a guy misses, it looked like it was going to roll out, but he got the fortuitous roll and bounce in. So Manhattan doing a good job right now, offensively and defensively.
Dennis to the cutting Bowman. Dennis again, and a foul call. Richards may have gotten him down low. Indeed, it is on Richards. We'll step away with Manhattan's lead, standing at 3 over Iona in the MAAC championship game. welcome back to the MAAC Championship as part of Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Manhattan leading Iona 32-29, and the Jaspers have been doing it, Malcolm, with their defense.
Well, that's their personality. That's the makeup of their team. They're doing a great job slowing down Iona. Now, right there, that's a good look by Jones. He didn't get the roll, but you're going to take a look at the MAAC Defensive Player of the Year. Look at this recovery. Him getting out, getting a hand up on the shot. That is just a great individual effort by Ramel Brown. And sometimes, Doug, great defense leads to even better offense. They're getting it done, Manhattan, on the defensive end. And this is a team, Doug, that's second in the nation in Iona in points per game, averaging close to 82 points per game. And they have 29 right now with 57 to go in the second half. Phenomenal job of executing the game plan by Manhattan.
So far, Sean Armand, who averages 17 per game, has 3. David Lowry, who averages 13 per game, has 2. And Taj Ridley, who averages 8 a game, has 2, and he's on the bench with 3 personals. So Iona's got a lot of things yet to work out with plenty of time on the clock. Can they do it against this Manhattan defense?
Well, if there's any club that has the ability to score in bunches, it is Iona, led by Lamont Jones. He's a guy that it doesn't take him long to put up points, so Manhattan needs to keep the focus they've had on the defensive end, defending the perimeter.
Kurt Dennis making a rare trip to the free throw line. He's now only 4 out of 7 on the year, senior from the Bronx. Alvarado, Stores, Andujar, Richards, and Brown, the 5 on the floor for the Jaspers. In this MAAC championship game between a couple of charter members of the MAAC dating back to 1981. And this is the first time ever these two schools, whose campuses are located less than 10 miles apart, have ever faced each other in the championship game. Armand with the turnover, giving it back to Manhattan.
Well, 2 sloppy plays that time by both teams, and I think that's more of an issue for Manhattan because really in that first half, Iona got all their points off of turnovers. So if you're Manhattan, you want to continue to do what you're doing on the defensive end. You just do not want to get Iona going with some easy transition buckets.
Well, the gentleman who blocks 3 shots a game gets his shot blocked by Lowry. And this is David Lowry with the basketball. Quick to Momo Jones, who challenges the big fella. And Andujar pulls it down. I asked Jones today what his strategy was in just that instance, and he said, I've got to initiate the contact, which he did. At the other end, Richards for 3. Out of York Prep in Manhattan, Shane Richards now with 6 points. The lead stretches back to 5.
Richards got a nice looking stroke from the perimeter, and Manhattan right now is going to foul a 3-point shooter. That's the last thing you want to do, but Richards has got a nice looking stroke. That's a quick release right there and a big bucket for Manhattan.
And there's his dad, Michael Richards, who's in town from Florida, getting a high five over his son draining the 3. And now Sean Armand will head to the line for Iona to try and get those 3 points back. He was fouled in the midst of shooting a 3 by Michael Alvarado, who picked up his second personal. Armand on Saturday scored 24 points in a quarterfinal victory over Canisius. And Malcolm, he did most of his work that night at the free throw line. He was 11 out of 12. This is first trip to the line here tonight.
And he's normally a really good free throw shooter, as is the whole Iona team. He's shooting 77% on the year, and everything adds up. Those are big free throws. Right now, 14:32 to go, and Manhattan still doing a great job confusing Iona on the defensive end.
Stores nearly has his pocket picked by Bowman. Richards needs help, and he throws it out of bounds.
Well, no coach likes a turnover, But if you're going to make a turnover, make sure it doesn't lead to an easy transition bucket, especially when you're playing against a team like Iona. Now, you don't want the turnover in the first place. You obviously want to get a shot off, but that's not bad in that case right there. It didn't lead to an easy transition opportunity for Iona.
Now Manhattan's 13th turnover of the night, a dead ball turnover. So Iona works in the half court, down by 3. Steve Masiello hopping on the court back at the other end, trying to get the attention of his team. Trey Bowman ties the ball game at 35.
And here comes Iona with that offense, and that's just great ball movement, unselfish play that time, which led to a contested 3, but it was off a good ball movement.
Lowry with the rebound, and here come the Gales. Dennis to Armand. Straight to the hole to give the Gales the lead.
We knew they couldn't keep Iona quiet for too long. They're starting to show some life on the offensive end. Iona running the break. Right now, though, they're still trailing by 2.
Iona has taken the lead on the strength of a 7-0 run. It's the MAAC Championship as part of Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. And there is drama in the building, tension on the faces of the two coaches as we take a look at the last play.
Well, they know what's on the line right here. This is a trip to the NCAA tournament, and right now Iona has put themselves in position back on top, and they're getting it done on the defensive end, giving Manhattan a dose of their own medicine.
Well, the Gales led by as many as 5 points in the first half. At the 6:05 mark of the half, the Jaspers win on a run. Iona closed to within 2 at the intermission, and now they have retaken the lead. And they've scored the last 5 points with their star player, Momo Jones, on the bench, resting. And he remains on the bench with a towel draped around his shoulders. Remember, he's not 100%. And perhaps Tim Kloos allowing for him to get a break here up until the under-12 timeout.
And also, Doug, I talked about it at the top of our broadcast, how fatigue may come into play now. These teams have played a lot of basketball in the last 48 hours. You're going to have a lot of tired legs out there, in particular late in the second half.
Cates inbounds to Andujar, who gives to Stores out there with Richards and Brown. Manhattan the number 6 seed, Iona the number 4 seed. Ramel Brown runs into a double team. And he lost it. Here comes Sledge with Dennis. 3-on-1. Trey Bowman, who has played so big off the bench. Meanwhile, David Lowry lays in pain at midcourt.
We're going to take a look and see if Lowry is all right. That would be a huge blow to Iona if he's not able to continue in this game. He's done a nice job on the defensive glass and the guy that initiates their fast break. So,
the former high school teammate of Cleveland Cavaliers rookie Dion Waiters in northern New Jersey limps off the court.
And it looks like he stubbed his toe right there. And I can tell you right now, Doug, that is a painful thing. I've had that. That's almost as painful as rolling an ankle. Stubbing your toe like that, that is a really painful thing. But I can guarantee you right now, I think he's going to be back out on the court. There's no way he's going to sit this one out with the tournament trip on the line.
So without their third team all-conference forward, Iona plays on, leading by 4. Momo Jones remains on the bench for Iona. Offensive foul. Taj Ridley, like his teammate Momo Jones, they love to take turns taking charging fouls.
We're going to take a look at his foot, and yeah, that might be a twisted ankle and also a stubbed toe, so that certainly looked pretty painful. Let's see if he's able to go. But back to what Iona's doing now on the defensive end, Doug. They're getting after it and making it really difficult for Manhattan to run their offense.
And the fact of the matter is David Lowry has yet to sit down since going to the sideline. So whatever that's ailing him, the toe, the ankle, now he takes a seat. I think he's trying to tell the coaching staff, put me back in.
I would too.
Blocking foul against Stores as Momo Jones has come back in. And we've got ourselves a media timeout. Jones and the Gales up 4 over the Jaspers in the MAAC finals. Kevin, thank you. And so far here in the second half, Malcolm Huckabee, it's been the Iona defense that has been better than Manhattan. They've turned the tables.
And they're doing a great job of team defense. They're getting out on ball screens. You're going to see right here, good closeout. And then when a man gets beat, the help side defense has been spectacular in this last 5 minutes. That's just great team defense right there, coming up with a big charge.
During your days at Boston College, playing in the Big East tournament, playing at Madison Square Garden, especially in your final year, what were your thoughts and emotions when you knew, boy, if I don't win tonight, my college career is just about to be over?
Well, you leave everything out on the court. I still remember that. You're going to play injured. You're going to be fatigued. The other teams are doing the same thing. And those little things come down to winning games. 50-50 balls, and we're going to come up with a charge right here. But it's the little things, Doug, the little things that make the difference in these games. And I think that's what's going to come down to in this game.
Sean Armand called for his 4th foul as Alvarado took it in the chops, maybe up around the shoulder, and so the tough night for Armand will take a break. He was scoreless until just a couple of minutes ago, and he has keyed what is a 9-0 run for the Gales, but now he goes out with 4 fouls.
Yeah, that's a big foul, and obviously he's a big part of what they do on the offensive end.
That snaps the run as Storrs hits the jump shot.
And that's a nice move that time by Storrs. Coming off a screen and roll situation, Iona does not hedge or help, and he had a clean look from the foul line.
And off the made basket, the Jaspers able to set up their full court pressure. Former Iowa State Cyclone Tavon Sledge breaks the press. Kurt Dennis puts up an air ball. And a foul on the rebound.
Well, it's getting real physical in this game, and that's a great closeout by Richards that time. Nothing is easy for Iona. Manhattan's doing a great job contesting all shots, and that's a good defensive play that time by the freshman Richards.
Roberto Collinet takes a seat after being called for his 3rd foul. Inbound comes to Lowry. It's Lowry, Bowman, Sledge, Jones, and Taj Ridley on the floor. Lowry playing through whatever injury he had a few minutes ago. Back on the floor, banging inside with Emi Andujar. Sledge, the crossover, right to the basket for 2.
What a quick move by Sledge. He is a jet. He got to the rim quick on that one, and he's a guy you need to give him a little space. You're not going to guard him individually like that out on the perimeter. He's just too quick.
He played last year at Iowa State for Fred Hoiberg before transferring back closer to home. And able to be in this battle for bragging rights in the New York metropolitan area. Blocking foul on Sledge.
We're going to take a look at Sledge right here. This crossover is quick. No help that time by Manhattan. And this guy is so quick getting to the hole. And as I talked about, you need to give a guy that quick space. Keep him in front of you, but you don't want to get up and try to pressure him because he's going to blow right by you.
He was a high school teammate of current Orlando Magic forward Tobias Harris out on Long Island. So Tavon Sledge has just picked up consecutive fouls in a matter of seconds. He's got 3. And Tim Kluse has a number of guys with foul trouble. Sean Armand has 4. Sledge and Ridley both have 3. Bowman, can he save it? He cannot. The Jaspers will keep it with 25 seconds on the shot clock in the arena. You see 24 on the screen.
Well, I've been impressed by Bowman. He's really active, trying to shoot the gaps on the defensive end for Iona. Getting his hands, it seems like, on everything.
This is Emi Andujar, and he's called for the offensive foul.
And another lost possession for Manhattan, and that's just unforced right there. That's an unforced error, and you just can't pick up charges like that in front of the referee. In particular, when you have a game that's so tightly contested right now, every possession matters, Doug.
Well, that call actually went on the screener, Ramel Brown, so he gets his first personal foul. No foul on Andujar. Iona with a basketball just past the midpoint of the second half, and Steve Masiello has been told to get back off the floor and into the coach's box by Mike Kitts, who is a no-nonsense official.
Well, he's been doing games since my Big East days. I had a chance to chat with him before him, one of the best in the business, and he just wants to make sure this thing stays under control.
I've got one for you, Malcolm. Mike Kitts officiated games that I was playing in high school, and now he has just given a tee to Steve Masiello for not staying in the box, and now Masiello goes and takes a seat at the other end of the bench.
Well, it seems like there's confusion right now. There's 10 seconds left on the shot clock, and we're going to have to get an explanation on that. But right now, Iona's got 6 to get the shot off.
No technical foul, obviously. Momo Jones with the runner.
Well, he's been quiet for too long. Second leading scorer in the country at 23 points per game. The MAAC Player of the Year, and he's starting to heat up.
And the folks from New Rochelle in the stands beginning to heat up. And now Steve Masiello, as you can read his lips, says to Mike Kitts, "Are you serious? Are you serious?" Tuesday night at 7 Eastern on ESPNU. Championship week continues with the first round of the Big East Championship presented by American Eagle Outfitters. On Wednesday, ESPN and ESPN2 bring you the second round. The ESPN networks will bring you every game of the Big East Championship as part of Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Georgetown, the #1 seed. In your mind, Malcolm, is Georgetown the favorite to win the Big East Championship?
You know what? With the way this season is going right now, I don't think anybody is a favorite going in. #1, #2, it doesn't make a difference. But I do like the way that Georgetown runs their offense, the players, and when you have guys around the perimeter that can knock down shots and pass the way they do, I think they have as good a chance as anybody else.
Now there is a technical foul signal, and indeed we do get a technical this time on Coach Masiello. And he was clearly a step beyond the coach's box, and Brian Dorsey rang him up.
Well, that's an unfortunate turn of events for Manhattan to pick up a technical foul in that situation, and you're trailing 6, and you put Momo Jones on the line, who's a close to 90% free throw shooter, and give him 2 freebies and the ball. That's a momentum changer right there. Now, to the referee's credit, they did warn him, but I'm not sure about that one right there. You see coaches all the time getting out onto the court, and the play was on the other end. This game has been officiated great, so I don't want to take anything away from that, but that right there, I'm thinking that's a little bit excessive right there to give a tech when he's really not involved with the play.
After 2 warnings?
And that's the problem, though, so then again, I have to rethink that. Because they did warn him, I'm going to give the refs the benefit of the doubt.
Momo Jones misses, but a foul on the rebound. And certainly the Gales, Malcolm, have been the aggressors here in the second half.
Well, they're getting it done, getting stops on the defensive end, and then they're doing what they've been doing all year long and being aggressive on the offensive end, as you talked about. And they're a very good free throw shooting team as well, close to 80% on the year as a team. So that's what you do not want to do if you're Manhattan. Put them on the line. You just want to play contested defense, but you cannot continue to foul them.
As a team, they are 5th in the nation in free throw shooting percentage, as well as being 2nd in the country in scoring behind only Northwestern State. So Richard sits down, having picked up his 2nd personal foul, and Iona can stretch the lead to double figures.
Well, I think this is a must-score possession for Manhattan to slow down this run of Iona.
Sledge the deflection. Andujar back with it. Strong along the baseline. Foul on the rebound. Well, on the heels of a 9-0 run, Iona has rattled off the last 8 points.
Now they're going to get the foul, but that's got to be an and-one situation that time. And the break's really right now for Manhattan that they were getting early in that first half. They're not going their way.
And so now Taj Ridley will have to go out, having picked up his 4th foul, and we get our first look at Diggs Moikobu, a 6'7" senior from Seattle. Well, as Manhattan looks for offense down the stretch here, perhaps it's the man at the free throw line, Emi Andujar. He was the top scorer in their semifinal victory over Fairfield last night with 16 points. And he has had tremendous success throughout his 2-year college career against these Iona Gales. Again, remember, these are 2 New York City schools, rivals whose campuses sit less than 10 miles apart. These players all know each other. They play with and against each other all summer. And then they play at least twice, and this year 3 times during the year. Charge on Momo Jones. His 2nd foul.
Well, Jones is normally the guy that is baiting guys in to charge it, but he's going to get a taste of his own medicine right here, and that's just great footwork. And Manhattan has done a great job all night. Jones really has not been a offensive factor that we thought he would be in this game, and credit that to the Manhattan defense.
Lowry commits the foul on the shot by Alvarado.
Well, I've really been impressed with Alvarado's decision-making coming off screens.
We'll step away with 7:56 remaining. When we come back, we'll tell you a little bit more about Tim Kluse and his Long Island legacy. Kevin, I've got my toes just behind it, so I think I'm safe. I'm not sure about Malcolm. But up in the balcony, we see the 2 sons of Iona head coach Tim Kluse, Kevin and TJ. And if they follow in the family footsteps, they are both going to be tremendous college basketball players. Now, Tim Kluse finished up his career at Hofstra. And by the way, he hates us showing this picture with the mustache and the big hair. But he started his college career playing for Luke Carnesecca at St. John's, the exact same place where his 3 brothers also played. So 4 Cluse brothers from Long Island went to St. John's, and they have a tremendous legacy of winning in that family. And so again, if the 2 boys sitting up in the stands follow the footsteps of their uncles and their dad, they're going to be pretty good players.
Well, I got to go back to that picture, man. Those are one of those pictures that you go back to your high school days, and they had the shorts that were, I don't know why they called them shorts, so I got a few of those laying around. I'm sure you got a couple of those.
Unfortunately, I do, but I asked Tim Cluse his favorite memory of having played at Hofstra was a game that Hofstra played at Notre Dame. They played Notre Dame tough, and by all accounts, they outplayed the Irish, but lost. After the game, Digger Phelps came into the Hofstra locker room and said to the Hofstra players, including Tim Cluse, "Congratulations, you did outplay us. If you'd gotten a couple of calls, you'd have beaten us."
Well, winning coaches love coming in and saying that. The praise is there. I'm not so sure he would have did that if they lost that game, but certainly an unbelievable story and legacy.
Lowry off the double pump, lays it in.
Well, Iona now is starting to find gaps in that Manhattan defense that was so stifling in the first half, really up until about the 10-minute mark in the second half. And I think legs are starting to play a factor right now on the Manhattan side with their defense.
Mel Brown sets the screen. Alvarado into the lane, kick to the corner for 3. It's Stores, nothing but net.
Nice find by Alvarado. That's a beautiful penetrate kick. And Stores knocked it down, got his feet set, and he's having himself a great second half, Stores and Alvarado.
The Jaspers back within 5. Shot clock at 12. Sledge turns the corner, finds his teammate, and Lowry puts it in.
Wow, I'm not sure how Sledge got that pass off. That's a beautiful little dime right there. He had 3 defenders around him, and he still somehow found a way to get that ball in there.
Jones called for the block.
And this is just beautiful basketball right here, Doug. Penetrate kick for a wide open 3. That's what you want to see. And then Sledge going to the hole and off balance, 3 defenders around him, and still was able to get the pass off. That's a nice pass.
There you see Lamont Momo Jones has picked up his 3rd personal foul, so he's over talking to his head coach. His backcourt mate, Sean Armand, comes back into the game. He'll play with 4 fouls and take the place of Tavon Sledge. $12 points now from Michael Alvarado. Back to a 5-point game.
Manhattan extends their pressure. Goes to that 3/4 court pressure and then back to the matchup zone. Just trying to give Iona different looks to slow them down.
This is Deshaun Gomez, a junior from Inglewood, California, into the game. A possession type of point guard, rarely turns it over. He feeds the post beautifully. Lowry able to get the roll.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Lowry, and coming off of him turning that ankle, he's given them obviously a big boost in high basketball IQ, and that's the problem when you go to a matchup zone. Sometimes you have those mismatches, and that time he had a little guy on him, and he finished.
8 points for Lowry. Alvarado from 17.
Poor pick-and-roll defense by Iona. Alvarado coming off screens, showing the mid-range game. That's a nice pull-up jumper off of a ball screen.
Lowry with Iona's last 3 made field goals, 5 minutes from the end of regulation. One of these teams will advance to the NCAA tournament. Bowman puts up the 3.
Doug, we're seeing some really good basketball on the offensive end by both teams. Iona on that last possession, dribble penetration, kick out to wide open shooters.
Bowman with a game high 18 points, and Iona On top 56-48. Alvarado to Koida. And Sean Armand won't be able to save it. He's a little careful over on that side of the floor. 2 nights ago in the quarterfinal, he took a hard fall off of that court.
And this is in that matchup zone. Sometimes you get switched off, losing an assignment, and Lowry does a great job sealing the little guy and finishing. And then again, we're going to see some nice penetration. That's a beautiful dish out for a wide open shooter.
Roberto Collinet has come back in, as has Shane Richards for Manhattan, out there with Koida, Stores, and Brown. Brown slipped, and that's a travel. The Jaspers had a nice set there, Malcolm. Got a terrific post-entry feed, but he just lost his footing.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, and I like that decision by Manhattan to go back down low to Brown, who really has been effective when he's had his opportunities and gotten some touches. That time he lost his footing.
And you see, true to form, the Jaspers have turnover issues tonight. 19 so far. Under 4 minutes remaining in regulation. Lowry sets the ball screen for Gomez. Lowry spins into the paint. And the scouting report was perfect for Manhattan, because that is Lowry's patented spin move, and the Jaspers were ready for it. And so now David Lowry commits his 3rd foul. Timeout on the floor with the Gales clinging to a 56-48 lead.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Welcome back to the MAAC Championship as part of Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Tuesday night on ESPN, Championship Week continues with 2 more conference championship games. First at 7 Eastern, it's the Big East Women's Championship presented by American Eagle Outfitters as 3rd-ranked Connecticut takes on number 2 Notre Dame. Then at 9 Eastern, it's the Horizon League Championship as Wright State faces Valparaiso. Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Tuesday on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN. We are here in the birthplace of basketball, Springfield, Massachusetts, with only 3 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the MAAC championship game. With Malcolm Huckabee, I'm Doug Sherman. Iona has dominated here in the second half and has led by as many as 11. Alvarado turns the corner, lost it on the way up, and he turns it over. That's number 20 against the Jaspers so far.
Doug, that's been the story of the second half and really the ball game. Iona has gotten most of their offense off of turnovers. Manhattan needs to settle down, try to get some offense going, but that's really been a struggle for them all year. That's not their identity. They're a defensive ball club, and they're really lacking that offensive power, I believe, to hang with this Iona squad right now.
Well, down by 8 with less than 3 minutes to go is a real problem for Manhattan and its offense. Coming up next on ESPN2, college basketball live when we get done here at the Mass Mutual Center. Shot clock down to 7. They got the ball in the hands of the man they wanted. Momo Jones lost it to Emi Andujar. Gomez back. Andujar for 2.
Great individual defense that time by Ramel Brown, the MAAC Defensive Player of the Year, out on the Offensive Player of the Year, and he got a steal, which led to an easy bucket for Manhattan.
Timeout Iona.
So Ramel Brown, MAAC Defensive Player of the Year, getting his hand on the ball, and then Andujar getting out and finishing. That's just a beautiful job. Defense, help defense, and then you get out, get an easy transition bucket, and it was a much-needed one for Manhattan.
There's our game reset, the possession arrow in the favor of Tim Kluse's Iona Gales. This is an Iona team with a history of not being able to hold on to leads late. So what does Iona need to do to ensure they don't let this one slip away?
Well, they need to cut down on turnovers like that. That's the last thing you want to do if you're Iona. Give a Manhattan squad that's been struggling to score the ball easy transition buckets off of turnovers.
Iona's won its last 4 to get to the MAAC championship game, but before that they had lost 6 of 7 by a total of 11 points. And that was definitely in the heads of these Iona Gales a couple of weeks ago, knowing that in tight ball games they had not been delivering. Right now they're 2 minutes away from the NCAA tournament. Shot clock again down. Armand lobs it up. Lowry going to have to get it away. The shot was blocked by Brown. And so we've got a shot clock violation.
It's just impressive what Ramel Brown does on the defensive end, and that's the luxury that Manhattan has. Look at him. He didn't block it, but he authored a shot, which led to a turnover. Great team defense by Manhattan.
Timeout Jaspers with 1:39 on the clock. Well, this season, Iona has lost a number of heartbreaking games, as we mentioned. January 31st at Niagara against the Purple Eagles, Wanye Green. In overtime, the game-winning 3. Then, in double overtime, Emi Andujar and the Jaspers beat him. And then, Fairfield on the Derek Needham 3. Got it done February 18th. And then out in Terre Haute, Indiana, on Bracket Busters Saturday, that late layup by DeJuan Cummings allowed the Sycamores to beat the Gales. And this one, if it slips away like those, Malcolm, would clearly hurt worse than those.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, Doug, we always talk about end-of-the-game situations offensively. I think defensive execution at the end of the game is equally as important.
Alvarado with the dribble. Trying to establish Brown inside. He's got Bowman guarding him. Big mismatch, and Bowman gives up the foul. Funny to watch Tim Kluse in the Iona coach's box. He was tiptoeing, realized his toes were across, and in this late juncture, he wanted to make sure he didn't get a technical foul. As we saw earlier in the ball game, called against Steve Masiello for being out of his coach's box.
Well, if there is one hole in Ramel Brown's game, it's from the free throw line, where he shoots 39%. And that time I did the reverse jinx. You talk about a guy being a good free throw shooter. Most times they miss it, but in this case I talked about him really struggling from the free throw line, and he knocks a big one down for Manhattan.
Andujar out, Collinet back in, and the Jaspers have trimmed it to 4. Now with 15 on the shot clock, Momo Jones being defended by Alvarado. Final minute of regulation. No call. Jones still with the dribble. He raises up, misses the 3. Lowry tips, and it's Iona basketball. Timeout, Gales. A huge rebound on the offensive end by David Lowry.
Well, Doug, those are those 50-50 balls. In particular, at the end of games, they're so huge. Whether it's off of a free throw, somebody gets an offensive rebound. That time, shot clock's winding down. And this is just a huge individual effort. Now, I like the no call by the referees. Tough shot contested by Momo Jones. But if you're Manhattan, you have to have that offensive rebound. You did everything right, Doug, on the defensive end, except finish the play by getting the defensive rebound. That's a huge offensive rebound for Iona.
And Lowry is a guy at 6'8", 240 who has a knack for rebounding. He's got long limbs. He averages 10.6 per game. And in his short college career, he's never been involved in a bigger rebound than that one. So Iona keeps possession, still has the possession arrow, and will have the inbound from the sideline with 44.1 on the clock. Mohamed Koita draws the assignment to defend, and here's the double team with Stores. Timeout Iona, as Jones was trapped just over the midcourt stripe. 1 timeout remaining for Iona. Championship Week is available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone at WatchESPN.com and with the Watch ESPN app. We're in Springfield, Massachusetts, a neutral site venue for the 2013 MAAC Championships. The nearest campus in the league to where we sit is down in Fairfield, Connecticut. These two teams from New York City vying for the title.
Well, these games are so important for these one big league conferences. I had the luxury and also the privilege of calling the Horizon League semifinals and watch Valpo hit a buzzer beater. But in these leagues that are typically one bid, if you win your championship, it's so important and it means so much for these squads and also their programs.
Iona trying to play keep away, and then the foul given once the Jaspers couldn't turn them over. So now one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country will be put to the test. 5th best in the nation at 78%. And there really is not a weak free throw shooter among the bunch on the floor. It's Trey Bowman at 90% at the line, shooting 2. And while Sean Armand has been held below par, Steve Masiello's mom, Catherine, watches from the stands. It's been Trey Bowman off the bench, delivering the goods. He is the game's high scorer right now with 19.
Doing a nice job and knocking down some big free throws for Iona.
Yesterday it was David Lowry leading Iona in scoring with 20 points. Tonight it's Bowman. Shot clock is off. Manhattan down by 6. Looking for a 3. Richards lost the handle. And the Jaspers will keep it. goes Alvarado. Misses the two. Lowry again working on the rebound. And it's Gales basketball. Here comes Lowry. The breakaway dunk should do it. The Gales by 8. There's still a tenth of a second on the clock. Still a tenth of a second on the clock.
The referees are going to get Iona and a few fans off the court. They're going to need to inbound the ball, but once they get it in, the celebration is going to begin. What a comeback by Iona.
And there are the two sons of Iona head coach Tim Kloos coming down to share this moment with their dad. Lamont Momo Jones, the senior from Harlem, about to let loose once the clock strikes 0. We're getting the explanation from official Mike Kitts, who says there will be a technical foul. So because the Iona bench came onto the floor, there is a technical.
Now Iona is very fortunate that this game is not closer, because that would have been a very unfortunate situation for them to either lose or have this game tied because they celebrated too early.
But it does now make it a one-possession game. Although with only 1/10 of a second, that still should not matter. And for the 8th time in school history, Iona wins the MAAC championship. The Gales are going dancing, Malcolm.
Well, give Iona credit. They came into this game second leading team, points per game in the nation, but they got it done on the defensive end, turning Manhattan over 20 times in this game.
Momo Jones running to find his mom and his godparents who made the trip from New York City here to Springfield, Mass. to share his joy. And there's the embrace.
And that's what a great story ending. It's just nice to see those hugs and embraces, and obviously you feel for Manhattan as well too. They played a heck of a game. Looked like they were going to pull this thing off with their great defense, but Iona was not to be denied, and Lamont Jones having a great embrace with his mom and family. Really like seeing that.
So the Iona Gales heading back to the NCAA tournament for a second year in a row. Last year as an at-large qualifier where they lost their opening game to Brigham Young after leading by well over 20 points. Momo Jones and this Iona team says that has been a motivation for them all year long. Now they'll get an opportunity to go back to the big dance and get it right.
Well, I think they have a formula, though, for winning. Obviously, when you have a guy like Lamont Jones that can put up all the numbers and they can score, but they showed the ability tonight to get it done on the defensive end, you're going to have a shot to pull off an upset.
Once again, our final score in the MAAC championship from Springfield, Massachusetts. The Iona Gales beat their arch rivals, the Manhattan Jaspers, by a 60-57 final score. Tears flowing from Momo Jones and Tim Kloos. Coming up next, it's College Basketball Live. For Malcolm Huckabee and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Doug Sherman. Now let's send you to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Family right now.
Yes, I am. Blessed.
We're gonna start again. Just let me know when you're ready. Coach, you're here with a happy family, and you guys were able to come up with a big win. You guys are going into the dance. How were you able to get it done?
You know what? We talked about in the locker room. We're tired of people saying we don't defend. And that these days that you don't score the ball as well. Today, let's go out and show people we can defend. And our guys just picked it up on that, and I think that led us to a little transition and just got us a little looser, and guys off the bench played great.
Coach, you have the MAAC Player of the Year in Lamont Jones, Momo Jones. What does he mean to this program?
It's incredible. I mean, he just puts the team on his back and carries us through tough times, and he's won games for us. The kid's been sick. He's been out with injuries, but he comes and plays every game. You know you're getting a player out there, and he just leads all of our guys.
Coach, you got a chance at redemption now. You guys are back in the dance. Congratulations. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
Yes. Well, yep. Missed the whole thing. Missed it. Totally missed it. Look at Tim. Yes. The 2013 MAAC championship belongs to the Iona Gales, and that image right there shows you the agony of defeat, the thrill of victory. A couple of guys who played at the same high school in New York City, at Rice High School. Momo Jones for Iona, thrilled but consoling Emi Andujar, who suffers the difficult loss. Welcome everybody to Springfield, Massachusetts. Doug Sherman along with former Boston College Eagle Malcolm Huckabee, and you've been on both sides of that scene. For Iona, what does it feel like right now to get back to the big dance?
Well, it feels great. I remember when we beat North Carolina in the second round of the NCAA tournament. It's a sweet feeling to go on and keep continuing playing to try to get to the Final Four. On the other side, I remember losing my last game to Florida in the Elite Eight, and obviously you're disappointed, and I was a senior at the time, so you have that feeling of knowing that that was your last college game.
What was the biggest difference in tonight's championship game in your mind?
It was the defense of Iona. And, you heard Coach Clues talk about this. It was the defense, and they really did a nice job turning Manhattan over in that second half, and they were able to get out and get some easy transition buckets. But really, that was the story of the game. Manhattan had 20 turnovers, and Iona made them pay on the other end.
We saw Lamont Momo Jones getting the tournament MVP award. And now the Gales go on to the NCAA tournament for a second straight year. Last year as an at-large bid, this year as an automatic qualifier. Last year they suffered a heartbreaking loss in their opening game against Brigham Young. Now they get a chance for redemption.
Well, that's the beauty of March Madness, and you never know what happens. And when you have the offense that Iona has and a player like Lamont Jones, you have a chance to win games. And they showed tonight that they have the ability to defend. So that's a formula for winning, scoring, defending. Let's see what happens. They're back dancing in March Madness.
So the fourth seeds from Iona, the last one standing here in Springfield, Massachusetts. Iona wins the MAAC championship 60-57 over Manhattan. You're watching the MAAC Championship, Manhattan versus Iona from the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our action. You're watching the MAAC Championship, Manhattan versus Iona, from the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. Due to time constraints, we'll move ahead in our action after these messages. It's halftime in the MAAC Championship from the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. Championship Week is available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone at watchespn.com and with the Watch ESPN app. We'll have more action after this.
Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations. I'm going to put it up here.
You do that?
It's the heaviest trophy ever.
Hey, B, you got to get a good one, B. B biased.
Be biased.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Look over there.
Oh, what's up?
Can I just twist your chair a little bit?
Yeah.
Go over your other arm. Close to the right.
Yeah.
Hey,
what's going on, man? What's going on? We doing great. How you doing?
Ever. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Everything is possible. Win games.
Yeah, one at a time like we did this weekend. One at a time. Make more history. Win the game in the NCAA tournament for the team and to keep going.
Yep. Win more games. We're not done yet. One at a time.
Okay. This is beautiful.
I love it. Oh, I fucking love it. They can't tell me nothing.
Tell them about themselves going from Manhattan that last game.
Huh?
They went from Manhattan that last game.
Yeah. I'm on them, too. I'm on them soon. I'm on them soon as they come on air. Thank you.
Yeah, this would have been terrible if we lost. Oh, man.
Yeah.
that's okay, David?
I absolutely will.
Great.
Oh, hey man, I heard y'all went against us, man. I heard y'all went against us. I heard last time y'all had our game at Manhattan, you know, y'all betted against us, man. What's up with that, man?
They on the court. Y'all was praising them. What happened with that, man?
Oh,
you know what?
Man.
It's no point in bringing up old news.
It's all good, man. It's all good. We glad to be back on the show in good spirits.